Hi, I'm Bernadette Horn from the Office of Career Services. Welcome to part 4 of a series of 5 professionalism sessions on social media. You are required to view all 5 sessions in order to get credit for completing the social media professionalism requirement. The 5 social media sessions include part 1, cleaning up your digital dirt, part 2, setting up and optimizing your LinkedIn account, part 3, showcasing your skills, this section, part 4, networking with LinkedIn, and part 5, using social media for a job search. You are required to view all 5 sessions in order to get credit. Now, please be reminded that in order for the registrar to certify you for graduation, you must complete all 4 of the OCS mandatory professional development requirements. The programs will cover a variety of topics, including the use of professional and social media, cover letter writing, interviewing, and succeeding in your career. These programs are offered throughout your first year, and you're highly encouraged to complete them during your 1L year. They are presented when they will be most useful and relevant to you. For example, the mock interview session and mock interviews were provided just before 2 major summer job interview programs. And you will regret it come 3L year if your graduation audit reveals that you still need to complete these sessions to graduate. So again, this is part 4 of the social media professionalism requirement, networking with LinkedIn. Now in part 2 of the social media professionalism requirement, OCS encouraged you to create your professional LinkedIn profile. Now, why did we suggest that? LinkedIn reports that it has over 706 million users in more than 200 countries and territories across the world, making it one of the most effective ways to network. It is also helpful to keep in mind what it is not. It is not just a holder for your online resume. It is so much more. It makes you discoverable on a professional platform to employers. It shows you how to connect with alumni from both the law school and your undergrad, and you can use it to promote your achievements. What else can LinkedIn do? LinkedIn provides students with the opportunity to search job openings, to connect with practicing attorneys outside of the Hofstra Law Alumni Network, and to learn about specific areas of law through virtual conversations. Why do you want to network? That's simple. Let's say that I'm Jane Employer and I've posted a job and I received 30 resumes in response. I do not want to interview all 30 candidates. So where do I start? Luckily, my law school classmate has contacted me and she tells me to look for a resume from Jane Doe. She tells me that Jane worked for her last semester and now wants some experience in the area I practice in. She says Jane was an incredible worker, organized, punctual, and one of the best student interns she's had for a while. Now, which resume of those 30 goes to the top of the pile? Exactly right, Jane's. And that's why you network, so that there's someone out there to sing your praises and get your resume moved to the top of the pile. Another reason to network is the situation where Joe Lawyer speaks to his friend who's a partner at a law firm and finds out that they're hiring. He can tell you about that available position before it is posted and you and 50 of your closest friends apply. Everyone says they hate networking, but most misunderstand the term. Networking does not mean reaching out cold to strangers. We're simply asking you to connect to people you know and trust. So what's your first move? Your first step should be to connect with people you know, family, friends, and family friends. Of course, you should start with those that are in the legal field. But if there are no lawyers in your immediate circle, connect with anyone who works in a professional capacity. You never know if a friend or family member is connected to someone who works at a legal company that's hiring. One of the best features of LinkedIn is that when you establish a connection with someone, you have access to their network and they have access to yours. And that's how you find out that your cousin's college roommate works in HR at that firm that you are so interested in working for. And this is yet another reason your profile has to be professional and accurate. If you send me or anyone in OCS a request to connect, we're going to review your profile before we accept. We're looking for completeness, a lack of grammatical and typographical errors, and a professional picture. If any of those problems appear in your profile, expect an email from us explaining why we will not connect with you until your profile is corrected and updated. And take it from me that most of professionals that you try to connect with are taking those same steps. Remember, after I connect with you, you also have access to my connections, and I have to check you out before I connect with you because I do not want you to embarrass me by presenting an unprofessional profile to those who are my connections. Now, I know that you followed our instructions in part 2, setting up and optimizing your LinkedIn account. And even if you're not at all-star status just yet, your profile includes the schools you attended and at least 2 former jobs and their descriptions. If you click on the My Network tab on the top navigation bar, you can check out people you know and find connections to people who went to the same school or work in similar industries and are based in your same city. Again, in addition to making a great contact, once you're connected, you can view your connections networks. Now, before we go any further discussing possible connections, let's talk about how you should connect. Please do not use the generic message that's provided by LinkedIn. Always customize your request with a friendly note. Explain why you wish to connect, or remind the reader where you met, who introduced the two of you, or the organization you have in common. People are so much more likely to accept your request if you remind them how they know you, or explain why should they connect with you. Now, this is especially important for the requests that are going to people you do not know. You don't want to come across as someone who's soliciting random contacts in an effort to boost their numbers. Here's an example of a personalized message. I'm a first-year student at Hofstra Law, interested in working in bankruptcy. I reviewed your profile and your extensive experience in the field, and it sounds like a practice that I would really like to know more about. If you have 20 minutes or so, I would love to hear how you started working in the field and what skills and experience you believe would be most helpful for a student who's interested in practicing in that area. Now, please don't copy that because our alums will get 20 requests with identical language, and we do not want that. And here's another pro tip for you. When you send your request, the recipient has the option of clicking, I don't know this person. If too many people respond to your invitation with that, LinkedIn will restrict your account. So be judicious when reaching out to those you don't know. Okay, so step 1 was connecting with people that you know. For step 2, your next step is to connect with people that you haven't seen for a while or been in touch with for a while. Now that sounds like it could be awkward, but it should be easy to break the ice because you've got wonderful news to report. A simple message that says, it's been a while since we last spoke, but I hope all is well. I wanted to share that I started attending Hofstra Law School in the fall, and I'm excited about the future. I hope you will connect with me. Now, it asks for nothing, but it puts them on notice that you are on your way to becoming a professional, and again, gives you access to not just them, but their connections as well. Step 3, you're also going to connect with people that you meet at networking events, including virtual events. The best time to connect with people is shortly after you've met them, either in person or by phone or at that Zoom event. Now, you should make this part of your standard follow-up after attending an event. You find the person on LinkedIn by searching their name and then hitting connect. Again, I want to remind you, you'll have much better results if you send a personalized message that explains your reason for connecting. Something as simple as, it was a pleasure meeting you at the Nassau County Bar Association event last night. I'd like to connect with you on LinkedIn. Short and sweet, and make sure that it is error-free and grammatically correct. Now, before we go on to the next step, I'd like to give you a tip for your networking success. When networking, you can either think of people as contacts or connections. Contacts are one way. You only reach out when you need something. This is typically the thought process of those who think of networking as a numbers game, where you believe your chances are better by having as many contacts as possible. The thought is, if you cold call 1,000 people, someone is sure to answer. On the other hand, connections are two-way. You give as much as you want to receive, and you stay in touch, whether or not either of you needs anything. Now, this simply means that you connect with people with similar interests. That way, if you come across something that would be of interest or value to someone in your network, you share it along with a personal message, a short note that says, check out this latest news on XYZ. Even if they've already reviewed that article, they think, hey, she thought of me and she sent me something helpful. Assume that they will do the same and send items of interest to you. And LinkedIn makes it really easy to acknowledge birthdays and work anniversaries by providing reminders of those occurrences. You can also engage with your contacts by liking or commenting on their posts to show your support. Here's the key to this. Staying in consistent contact in a genuine way will make it so much easier for you to reach out to your connections when they can help you in some fashion. Then the recipient's response is, oh, hey, it's Jane who sent me that great article and then wished me happy birthday last month, as opposed to, who is this Jane Smith that wants me to introduce her to my college roommate who's head of recruiting at the Jones firm? Doing simple things to stay in touch with your connections goes a long way. Now here's step 4. Join LinkedIn groups that cover your areas of interest. It gives you access to people who are interested in the same topics. There are currently over 2 million active LinkedIn groups. You can join up to 100 groups on LinkedIn, but most join around 7. You want to start with groups that are related to your schools, both undergrad and law and graduate, if that's appropriate for you, and reach out to alumni. You can also use the search bar at the top of your homepage to find others to join. But to start, consider joining the Law Student Career Network and the ABA section of the group that is your practice area interest. Joining groups provides many advantages. They keep you up to date on new information in your practice area interest. It allows you to join discussions and find people to tell you more about their career paths and their practices. And it'll help you find networking events near you, whether virtual or in person. As your efforts begin to pay off, you will see your number of connections grow. But now the real work begins. Just having lots of connections is not enough. You have to stay in touch. You want to check in every couple of months to see what they're doing, send birthday and holiday greetings, congratulate on work anniversaries and any other achievements. Networking is about creating relationships. And if you are a silent contact instead of a connection, your relationships will never grow. Now, here's my final and most important tip. Never, ever ask a LinkedIn connection for a job. Instead, ask for a brief phone or Zoom call to discuss their career and solicit their suggestions for your career and job search strategy. Thank you for joining me for Networking with LinkedIn. I hope to see you in part 5, conducting a job search via social media.